So I stopped trying to read my baby's cry properly, and I actually do this instead. So I don't really have a system that perfectly works in terms of reading or trying to figure out which cry is what for my baby, but this approach seems to work for me, and I just want to share it with you guys. So just before I get started, I just want to let you know that this works for my baby, and this is based on my experience. So first things first, I usually, depending on what the situation is, will vary on how I am going to particularly react, or what type of activity I'm in with them will determine exactly what action I'll take. So with that said, some examples would be something like, if they are waking up in the morning and they're crying, that action or what I'll be doing to figure out why they're crying will be different. For example, let's say they're crying after we finish eating, or they're crying after we finish pooping. So with that said, we'll go for each case, each scenario differently, so at least you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so for example, let's say they just woke up in the morning. It's from their nighttime sleep. So for sure, usually in the morning they will cry, and well, my baby cries at least. And what I usually do is, okay, I figure out exactly how much they ate last, and what exactly did they have for dinner, how much the amount was. So depending on that, that's the reason why they may be crying. So secondly, what I do, if they're still crying after they've been fed, next over the line is, did they poop? Usually my baby is pretty uncomfortable with having poop around. So once I have changed them, cleaned them up, they are usually more better, right? Now, let's say you've fed them, now you've changed them as well. What other causes might be why they're still crying, at least for me, is they just can't get their position to sleep. So, or they have gas. Sorry, for sake it's gas. So with having gas, they feel a lot of like almost stomach pains. And what I usually do is, if I feel like there's gas there, you just try to burp them by burping them by tapping on their back and having them sit up upright for about half an hour to about an hour. So that's the other thing that usually works for me. Reasons why they may get gassy, sometimes the way they eat. This happens quite common for newborns, especially for me. I did notice that with my newborn. He had a lot of almost like colic type of symptoms, where he would just be uncomfortable. They just keep crying and crying, and they tilt their head back as far as they can. And since they're so young, I find mine was so young, they haven't been able to develop how to exactly burp yet. So you gotta help them try to push that air up. Plus their stomach is still trying to adjust to, they're small, and the placement of it, and the amount of food he eats, and the amount of air goes in. So a lot of factors go into exactly why they get those symptoms. So that's why burping is very important, I find, for me. But to be honest, some days they say you have to burp every single time. Like, I'll be honest with you, there's some days where he's eaten and I burped him and he did not at all burp at all. Like, there was no burping, and I swear my life I was probably rubbing his back and tapping his back for a good 15 minutes and not a single burp, and he was just so frustrated. Eventually I was able to just end up rocking him to sleep, or just he settled after. But that's what I find, at least in terms of how I approach it. I find reason why he cries, it's just something I use, is because he just can't get the right position. And when I say that, it's more of just there's particular ways I hold him that he likes to be held. And one of the ways I find works best, this is the most basic one, which is his head, just like right on my elbow here, just around the corner, around the area here. And then I'm gonna sway him back and forth, literally like back and forth. I'm swaying the camera, but I sway him back and forth. Or I do I guess like a bob. sort of do this kind of movement. As you see it, I sort of just bob this way, left, right. Looks kind of awkward because I'm holding the camera and doing that, but the bob really does work. I do it gently. I don't do it too hard. I don't rock them like crazy, like hard. I don't like bob too hard. I just have to do it simultaneously. And sometimes he's falling asleep with me, my arms, or if I'm holding him up to my chest, facing the opposite direction, so facing away from me. And then to be honest, I get those, there's some days where I tried almost everything, and this is a point where it was about 6 weeks to now, about 6 to 8 weeks now, where he's just louder and louder when he cries. And I tried to flip him different positions. I tried to burp him, and he burped already. I changed his diaper. He's eaten already. He's full, and there's just, I just can't seem to get him settled. Those are the days where it gets really frustrating, and no matter how what I do in terms of getting him settled, he can't seem settled. So at this point, I know it's kind of not bad, but I guess from my mind, I feel like he's just tired, but can't get his sleep. So he'll fuss and turn and maybe cry a little bit, maybe good for maybe about 15 minutes. He'll do that to the point where he's just settles. And all of a sudden he'll go from like crying and he'll just knock out. Like he'll just fall asleep, like straight up, just sleep. Like he'll go, he'll cry, he'll sleep. So I've had a lot of those times that has happened the last few, like the last like 2 weeks. But this approach has worked for me. I'm not saying it's gonna work for every single person. This is how I experienced it. Like I said, it's not, I don't feel like it's rocket science, but I feel like it's the same time, you just have to keep trying different ways to calm them down. And just remember that they are babies. And I find that there's some days where I'm super frustrated because I can't figure it out. And the truth is, you don't have to it doesn't take just one day. It takes a few days, few tries to figure it out, to give yourself a chance to get to know your baby, know their behavior, know what makes them feel better, know what makes them happy, know what like frustrates them and what calms them. Remember, they look to you. So I always say that to myself. They're always looking to me, so I try to be as calm as possible. But there are some days where, like I get very like frustrated and I get stressed out just because I can't stop crying. But eventually you can only cry so much and they will eventually stop. So yeah, that's parenthood for you, and it's exactly what works for me. And if this approach works for you, hopefully it does. Try it out, see if it makes your baby feel any better. I hope it does. And just a few of my experiences I want to share with you guys. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Cheers.